officially summer here in New York, and that means it's getting hot. And so I like to make this drink when I'm looking for something cool and refreshing. Um, I had this in the back pantry, which is a big, big box of Earl Grey tea. And I'm going to use this to make London fog. So I'm going to open these up. I need 10 of them. A few years ago, my husband, he worked at a cafe for like maybe 6 months, and he knew nothing about cafe stuff. And every so often, somebody would come in asking for a London fog. So what's pretty nice about being new in a cafe, most people know the drink that they're ordering. Like if you don't know it, they could tell you what's in it. That's what he said anyway. So people would tell him like, well, oh, London fog is Earl Grey and lavender and vanilla and milk and some sort of sweetener. And we both love Earl Grey tea. And Earl Grey is one of those teas, like, I get it if you don't like it, because somebody once said it tastes like perfume, and that's true. It does taste like perfume, but I love that. So this is really good in the summertime. I make it like ahead of time and put it in the fridge to let it chill. And it's really refreshing. The version I do is vegan, so I use almond milk, and I think that makes it lighter, like, which is nice during the summertime. Like heavy stuff, like creamy things aren't always that refreshing. So I think this is pretty refreshing. All right, we've got our 10 tea bags, and I just knotted them up together, and I have a mason jar that I'm going to fill to 2.5 cups of, 2 cups of boiling water. I like to use these because you could just measure it out right there. And I'm going to let this steep for about a half hour. Make sure you get all that nice flavor out. I'm going to go out into the garden and get lavender. Our lavender plant is doing really well this year. Past years it hasn't done so well, so I'm happy to say we'll have lots of lavender, some good for cooking and others good for drying. It is such a nice day out today. Oh, there's Monster Girl. Guarding. There's where Bobo was digging. This next week is going to be highs somewhere in like the mid-high 80s. So this will be really nice to have in the fridge on demand. Look at this lavender. It looks so good. Doesn't it look so healthy? You see the bees that are all around. Oh, cabbage moth. Doesn't she have the prettiest eyes? For this recipe, you need 2 tablespoons of lavender, and I'm just gonna put like pretty much the whole pieces in there like that. They'll be easier to fish out later. There we go. Lavender is such a great smell. And you could make it without lavender, but it really does, it adds to the perfuminess, which I really like about the London fog. All right, I'm just gonna submerge those pieces of lavender. All right, it's mostly fine. There we go, they're in there, and I'll let that sit for a half hour. Okay, so it's been a half hour and the tea and the lavender is steeping. So I'm gonna mix it in this pitcher. Usually I have a bigger mason jar, but they're being used for something else. So I'm gonna strain it from here. I'm actually gonna get a spoon to push out. There we go. Okay. This has been so handy. I bought it for one recipe and I thought I would never use it. I use it all the time. All right, I got the sugar over here. So I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of sugar. You could use other sweeteners like honey or maple syrup or agave, but I'm just using sugar. I'm gonna measure out the almond milk. I'm gonna stir in this sugar while it's still warm. All right. And for this one, I'm using unsweetened vanilla. You could use sweetened vanilla. You could use unsweetened regular. The reason I'm choosing this one is because it already has the vanilla in it, and I don't have to add the extract then. But if you didn't have something like this, you just had like a plain milk or this version without vanilla, you could add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm going to add 3 cups. Use this to measure again. And there we go. And I'll give it a mix. And then I'll put it in the fridge. I don't want to put ice in it just because it will dilute it, but when I serve it, I put it over ice. But for right now, I'll just let it cool down in the refrigerator. So it's cooled down. And get some ice. You got this ice tray, all metal ice tray. Because my husband says he could taste like the plastic in the other ones. So I actually like this one because it makes like kind of like shard pieces. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Like thin shards, which I really like. So even though it's not the most convenient one, I do like it a lot. All right, here we go. Give it a little stir. So good. It's a little bit sweet, not too crazy sweet. Obviously, you can adjust it if you don't like things too sweet, or if you don't like sweetness at all, you could just leave it out. The almond milk gives it a creaminess without it being heavy, which is really nice, especially for summertime. And it's perfect. If you try it, I hope you enjoy it.